Here's the snap. The ball is down. Dempsey kicks. It's on the way. It is. Good. It's good.
And we're back on Bravado TV. I'm here with the Wagoner Bulldogs, and I've got Coach Dale Condict here and a couple of his players. We've got Drew Mills, Jaden Snyder, Hayden Marshall, Hayden Schoolcraft, and we'll be right back with some more from them.
At Bravado Wireless, we don't believe in wasting your time or ours. Our mission is to serve you with honesty and integrity. That's why we offer upfront, competitive pricing with no hidden fees in our plan. For $40 a line, you get unlimited talk, text, and data. Nationwide coverage, no data caps, and no restrictions. No matter whether it's your first, second, or third line, you only pay $40. All that with coverage on America's best network. We're your local wireless provider. Come get to know us. Go bold. Go Bravado.
Welcome back to Bravado Wireless. My name is Dion Amade, and we'll pose the first question to the head ball coach in the middle. Just a general statement about the upcoming season.
Well, as always, you're excited about a new season. It's one of the things I love about the profession of coaching is you never know what you're going to get with the storybook that's going to unfold throughout a season. And we feel very good about our opportunity ahead in 2019. I think we're very capable of accomplishing all the goals that we've set forth and playing at the level that we've been accustomed to playing. You know, it's been a few years since we've been to a championship game in December, and ultimately that's going to be the goal. And I think this group's capable if we gel at the right time and, you know, some of the luck things go our way as the season progresses.
Speak up a little about of the team. It's a very experienced team and seems like a lot of veteran guys on there. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, the first thing I think of with this team going in is I think the opportunity to be great on defense. You know, we have enough returning starters that I think, you know, a good core group, and then there's some young guys that have really progressed physically over the last year that I think will fill in the areas that we needed. We've had, luckily, had a couple guys that we've gained over the spring and summer that have moved in. I think that can help us in some areas, but definitely got the potential to be great on defense. We have a very good group of special teams players back. Jaden, you know, one of the best kickers I've ever had. Hayden might be the best punter I've ever had. Of course, they also play other positions, but those things are critical in big games, and so we feel great about that area. And then offensively, we have a returning quarterback and a good group of a couple of linemen, a couple of skill guys. So we feel like we have all the elements to become a very good football team by the end.
Coach, you got Chelsea Watson, Lamar and Clayton, Braden Drake, all at running back. You've had a history of having a couple of guys back there that can do the job. Talk about how these guys fit into the scheme and what you're looking at starting with week one.
Well, I think the two tailbacks right now it looks like would be Kachochi Watson and Braden Drake. They're two very different runners. Kachochi's about a 5'11", 210-pound pounder. I mean, extremely strong, runs really hard. I think a guy that can really lean on a team in the second half. Where Braden Drake, a little smaller guy, kind of a tough wrestler, but very quick, has good speed in the open field, and kind of a make-you-miss guy, but also has a good ability to lean forward and run forward. Very tough, but different runners, but both very capable.
You lost a receiver that just kind of came out last year in Ashton Bartholomew. You've got one receiver sitting there, and then of course Chase Nanny, 6'3", 205. Good height. Very similar in that case to Ashton. But talk about the receiving core as a group.
I tell you, we got a lot of depth at receiver. I think with Chase, of course, Jaden's one of our slot receivers. Jaden's one of the best route runners I think we've ever had. Has a very high IQ when it comes to the game, so we feel great about the way he fits into the offense. Also, Marcus Newton, a tall 6'3", 185-pound kid on the opposite side of Chase that can run and catch. And then something we're going to do a little bit more this year that we haven't done in the last few years is use a tight end in some situations. And Hayden Schoolcraft is very capable, I think, of surprising people. He's not just a linebacker. He's a very good athlete that can catch and do some things with the football. So we'll start using him a little more on offense this year too.
Jaden, he's talked a lot about your route running abilities. When did you become a student in that? I mean, and I know you grew up through junior high and all playing quarterback. I'm guessing. I mean, that's maybe an obvious answer there, but as quarterback, you got to know what everybody's running. What do you attribute your knowledge on being able to run routes precise?
Usually just reading the defense, knowing what coverage is going to be and where the open spots are going to be. Watched a lot of NFL games, a lot of smaller guys, and the common thing is always they're always open. They're always got good routes, so I've always just kind of focused on that and learned from them, and really just trying to get better and trying new things every day.
I might have missed a name, but who do you, if not, who do you look at and try to pattern and study when you're looking at guys?
Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, Adam Thielen of the Vikings. I like watching him a lot. Just guys like that.
Right. Drew, wanted to ask you again, you've got a new offensive coordinator, Ryan Keenum. Coach Condick labels you as a leader on defense. Okay, the leaders, the captains, are the guys that are going to be really interfacing with the coordinators. With a new guy coming in, whatever his personality, whatever his approach, you're the leader. Talk about that interaction, that establishment of that relationship and that trust that you have, that you go and establish with a new, whether in this case defensive coordinator, it could be a secondary coach, but particularly with Ryan Keenum.
I used to go to Hilldale, and he coached at Hilldale also. So I've known him for a while, and when he came over, it's just kind of like we rebonded. He's brought great energy with him over to Wagoner, and it's just easy transition.
Coach, you mentioned using the tight end a little bit more this year in the offense. Why is that? Why that change?
I think at my core I like using a tight end, but the last few years we really haven't had a guy that fits that mold. We would have either had to use more of a lineman type guy that probably wasn't a route runner, or a smaller sized guy that wasn't capable of doing some of the blocking that we wanted. Late in the year last year, Chase Nanny became a guy that we started using at some tight end because his size was big enough to handle the blocking load. And we did that with him a little bit in the spring, and then we started using Hayden as well. And something that I cut my teeth on for 20 years doing it. And of course, we won 48 games in a row without a tight end. But last year it started becoming something that we were able to use again. So I think we have the type of guys that fit. I never want to box myself into a style of offense where I can't take advantage of the weapons that we have, and I think it does us good to use the tight end position some, at least this year, with some of the guys that we have. Otherwise, they'll be standing on the sideline by me when the game's on the line, and I'm going to be wishing I had them in the game.
And you said you've done this in the past. Are you going to go back to your old ways of putting in the tight end in the offense, or are you going to kind of use it as the new age thing? I mean, a lot of people are doing it. I mean, that spread offense has been very popular throughout the years, and now you're starting to see people include the tight end within the spread offense. I mean, OU does it with their flexing the tight end out in those empty formations, and then OSU does it with the cowboy back. We're putting in the backfield, or also splitting it out or putting it in. So how are you putting that tight end in your offense?
It'll be a little bit more of a traditional type tight end position. At my core, I'm an I guy. Of course, I've evolved over the years as the game has evolved. I wouldn't call us a spread team by no means. We were a spread team back in about 9, 10, and 11. Then we went to this diamond offense, and it's just been really good to us. And we'll still do some diamond, but as we get out of that some, as we take that H-back out, we'll be inserting a tight end. Probably not the type of tight ends we're going to use in the backfield at all. So mainly it'll either be on the line or guys like Hayden are very capable of splitting out too. We're fortunate in that way. Not a lot of people have those type of guys that have a body that can block at tight end, or they're capable of splitting out and running routes like a receiver. And we have 2 or 3 guys like that right now.
Speaking of the line, I mean, Wagner's known for their top-notch offensive line play. So how are those guys going to be this year?
Well, we lost a couple of really good linemen, Chris Coulter and Will Goins. We have, of course, Hayden Marshall here is back. Jesse Fair is back. We had a couple other guys that had some playing time last year. We have a really good group of junior linemen. There's about 6 of those guys that are going to vie for 3 spots. So it's going to be fun to watch that competition unfold. And I think all 6 of them, I feel right now, are probably capable of playing in a high school game. It'll just depend on which ones emerge as the best 3, and it may take us a couple weeks into the season to figure that out. But it's nice to have a group that's, I think, capable enough where if we need to give somebody a rest, we've got some bodies we can put in there. Because, school our size, we use guys both ways a lot.
Jaden, kind of echo what your coach just said there. How do you feel the offensive line is going to play this year?
I feel like we're going to be strong, just like we've always been. Just go out there and pound everybody to the ground and block right and get our guys through.
Yeah, Jaden, Coach raved on some comments that he passed along to us a couple of days ago about, you were a 12-game starter, and yet he talks about the remarkable improvements that you've made over the offseason, and we spoke about that a little bit. You said 100 pounds or 90 pounds that you've shed since, you said January? Something like that.
Yeah, 80, 90, something like that.
Definitely a different body physique and all. How has that improved? Or say, let's take your 40 time at this point. Do you anything?
Here, I tell you what, Mike, put a 100-pound weight on your back and run, and then take it off and see if it makes he's gotten where he can run all. He's actually, there was a pretty fast guy in there after he lost all that weight.
You've kept yourself away, particularly sugar. You said your favorite cookie was Chips Ahoy, chocolate chip. Do you at some point here just treat yourself to like a morsel here for all the work that you've done and the accomplishments that you've made here?
I try eating like a cookie or 2 a day. Something like a cookie or 2 a day would be good for me.
Okay. What were you eating before?
I was probably eating about 12 cookies a day.
What, Hayden, we've talked a lot about your development as a tight end, and I look at some of your answers to the questionnaire. Your favorite football player of all time happens to be a linebacker, Troy Polamalu. I'm wondering if, you certainly don't have the hairstyle, but have you ever thought about emulating him that way?
Yes, I just like his intensity and just like his speed throughout the whole game.
But not the hairdo.
No.
Yeah, I actually got a little curl up here. I think, that might work,
Yeah.
Both you guys on this side, with Coach Keenum coming over from Hilldale, what have been your first impressions, watching him?
I'd say he's like kind of loud. Like when we get in trouble or we don't listen, he really gets onto us, but that's good. I think it's really good.
I guess he is loud. I mean, I don't know.
Is he louder than the guys to your right?
Definitely, yes.
That's pretty loud. I don't know that I ever saw him be that loud at Hilldale, but I've seen you be loud.
Yeah, a few times, I believe.
Yeah, sometimes, but Keenum's definitely louder.
Coach, I want to ask you that, you guys have had more success than any of our area teams over the last, 19 years I've been here. And, of course, when y'all won your first gold ball, it was the first gold ball by any team in our area since Muskogee in 1986. You've set a standard, and then, you have a year where, injuries, and those things are going to happen. But do you walk away from seasons now, having had the kind of run, having had the long winning streak that was the record, is anything less than that a disappointment? And how do you kind of wrestle with this? Because, like you said, a lot of things that got to go right for you to be a state champion.
Yeah, I don't ever want to call it. I've never had a season I coached where I feel like it was a disappointment. I think I've been disappointed. Anytime you lose that last game, you're disappointed because once you get to that level and you win championships like we did there for those few years, and you get on a streak like we would have never dreamed of, you obviously you really yearn to get back to that level again. So no doubt there was, I think 2 years ago we don't make the semifinals, and my son was a freshman. Colin, and the last time he had not seen us go to the semis, he was 5 years old. So, you go, a period of time like that, and you look up and you don't even realize what you've accomplished. And, I can remember coaching, just hoping I can coach on Thanksgiving Day. And then you go to where you just expect that that's what you're going to do every year. And, of course, my luck, I like to deer hunt a little bit. And I finally gave up my deer hunting lease because we kept going to the semifinals every year, and you don't have time to hunt. Well, I jinxed us because the first year I gave up my hunting lease was when we didn't go to the semifinals. So I guess I probably need to get my deer hunting lease back, and maybe we'll go back. I'll blame that on us not making the semifinals.
Well, you replaced hunting with these fishing expeditions to the far reaches of North America.
Yeah.
What was the highlight of some of your trips this year?
Of the trips I've been on,
didn't you just
I went
go
to Canada.
Yeah.
I took my boys to Canada, and we fished for some walleye and pike. And despite the mosquitoes, which whatever people say about them, triple it. it's tough, but it was a great trip, a great time to get away. Got in a place where you don't even have cell phone coverage for 7 days. I know that would be shocking to some people. But
oh man,
it was kind of nice to not have your phone blowing up all the time.
Is it better in Canada than Alaska? You've been up there too.
No, I've been to Mexico. I've been to Lake El Salto in Mexico. No, Lake El Salto is better than Canada, for sure.
The district kind of took on a different look last year. Bristow stepped up and established itself. I see by your evaluation, you've got there. You expect them to be right there. I know Catoosa is probably young. They're starting over with Jason Medrano over there from Muskogee. You still got Oologah. Kind of talk about the district and how it shapes up. You got to get through district first.
Yeah, just sight unseen going in, I would foresee Bristow being the team that would probably concern us most. Number one, they have a great scheme. Coach Jones, who's a good friend of mine, he does a great job with that flex bone scheme that they run. It's something that we just don't see a whole lot anymore. Kids don't play against it. Coaches don't coach against it, and it requires a lot of discipline. And it took us about a quarter and being down, 14-0 or 20? 14-0. We were down, and 5 minutes into the game, we're already getting beat 14-0, and it took us a little while to kind of settle in and figure it out. But, they have a state championship in track they're coming off of with a lot of those guys that are on their football team. So I see them as being a very difficult team to beat. And, after that, traditional people that we see every year, you just assume they're going to be there again, Oologah and Catoosa. So wouldn't surprise me to see Grove. I thought they showed some times last year where they have some potential.
Drew, tell us a little bit about the summer preparation. How rough has that been for y'all getting ready for the season?
Summer preparation this year has been tougher than it has been in the last. Coach Keenan, when he came in, made the workouts a lot tougher than they used to be. But, just same thing, working out, running. We've done a lot more running this year than we have in the past, just trying to get faster.
What kind of specifically? I'm kind of one of those workout guys, so specifically what kind of running did they have y'all doing?
Sprints. We'd run gassers. I don't know if you know what a gasser is. Across the field and back.
Hey, man, don't insult my athletic ability.
Just gassers. We've done a bunch of footwork drills, bleachers, just working on our explosiveness and our speed.
So Jaden, what was some of the roughest workouts that y'all had to endure this summer? Like the worst part about the summer, like the one that you have nightmares going to sleep. Like, man, I hope he doesn't do that again.
We usually do a circuit on Thursdays where we have in the weight room, it's just nonstop lift and get back in line, lift, and it's usually, what is it, hang clean, deadlift, push press, and squat, and it's just back-to-back of 15 reps, and then we go outside and have a relay. Would you call it a relay?
We call it Bulldog course today.
Okay, well, kind of like a –
It takes a really good time for a skill guy's 2 minutes.
Yeah.
A lineman 2:45, so that it's like a half-mile run to a track athlete. It's pretty grueling, and then we have them partnered up with somebody that they're competing against. I wouldn't make it.
So you're telling me you tack on the lower body day with hand clings, power clings, push press, and squats, and then you go and make them run.
Today we did.
Today, so that was just today.
This morning, yeah.
At least you didn't throw in stadium runs after
I know
that.
I went right before I came here. I went in to the house right quick, and I checked on Colin, my younger son, who's a junior, and he was in his room with his lights out in bed. The big boys were all pretty tired.
So Hayden, after a workout like that, what were some of the ways that you and the guys, what was the talk in the locker room?
Well, one is this sucks, and it was like just tiring and just getting more system, like getting your system more prepared to go do other stuff after.
So after the kind of workout y'all have had, and then he drags you over here to this to take part. What's for dinner tonight? Steak or a coach or a few chocolate chip cookies to special treat.
Me and Hayden Marshall here, we're going to eat grilled chicken salads for dinner. Right. One thing I want to say that we hadn't said a whole lot about Hayden's defensive play, and last year he had believe it or not, a really bad finger injury where he couldn't play, had to have pins, and the doctor wouldn't release him to play because of that. There's no doubt, he would have been our leading tackler had he finished out the season. He was having a tremendous season and actually fought back to get to play the last playoff game. So this guy probably is one of our most underrated guys because people didn't get to see everything he's capable of because he only played in a few games. But, Hayden's there every day. He works extremely hard. I've never had a guy that likes just playing ball more than him, whether it's football or kickball out in the football field before a game or whatever. He's always out and active and having fun and bringing great positive energy to our team. I'm excited to have him, and I think this year is going to be a year that people are going to learn more about him and see the true potential that he has.
Well, Coach, this is a half-hour thing. I was going to get to that because I talked to him over there about it. But, yeah, he has a very interesting looking finger after, going through that. But what, Hayden.
It's my middle.
No selfies.
Yeah.
He was pretty bad.
Yeah. Hayden, in terms of that that map that he is talking about, in terms of your approach to everything and your mindset and all, what do you attribute that to? That competitive, go-getter top guy that Coach described you.
Well, I'm just going to stick to just a go-getter, try to get every play, and just have more effort.
But is that part of has that always been part of your nature?
Yes, sir.
Okay, going back to when, as early as you can remember, youth football, whatever?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What other positions did you play back then?
Back then?
Yeah.
I just played the same stuff that I do now.
Linebacker. Okay. Now, I've kind of gone through this with all our teams here with, locker room inspirational things. Most of the examples of this have been coaches. Ed Orgeron and, of course, Grant Tapp, Coach probably remembers from his early days at Baylor. But both of them apparently pulled the same thing one day to inspire their team before a game, and they swallowed some fishing worms. And, I look at the answers to these on the players, and Drew, I gotta say, yours astounds me. peanut butter is one of my favorite foods. Is this something you cannot stand? And do the players know that? I mean, that's usually something that you have in the coaching staff will have in there to kind of give them a little pregame, energy and stuff. Or particularly, if you have a lightning delay or something, you're just sitting around and you need a little juice.
You eat Reese's?
Just jelly.
No Reese's?
Jaden, yours is a little bit odd, but are you talking about taking a jar of mustard and just downing it like a?
I couldn't do that. I'd probably pass out.
Mustard is on your hot dogs. It's strictly what?
Cheese.
Cheese, dry and cheese, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Hayden and Jaden, other Hayden Marshall, you both said bugs. Yeah, Dale, give me a bug here that you think, these guys gobble up, and it's like, wow, okay, we're ready to go, guys.
You ate a bug? Oh, you would do that. Here's the thing. There's very few things. I'll do a lot of things to win. I'll just say that. The worm, I take on a worm to win a football game. A bug, I mean, if it helps us win a game, I do it. I know my father once in a semifinal game, I've never done this, but he did it back when there was grass and mud on the field. He saw a worm in the first half against when Okima played Morris in the semifinals in about 1982, and he put the worm in his mouth, and he held it there, and all the kids found out that he was doing that, and for some reason it got them all fired up, and they won 34-0 and went to the state championship game. But, man, I've seen what comes out of worms, and I'd hate to have to do it for a half. Would you do that?
If it meant winning, yes, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Okay, but you said bug. What give me a scorpion, tarantula. How far do you want to go with this?
I'd probably eat a cricket, honestly. Cricket. Yeah, grasshopper.
Well, I know what we're doing week one right before the game.
Well, now, you talk about, different games. I know that's one of your rivalry games. Jaden, what game kind of sticks out as, important to you? I'm putting you in a corner here.
I mean, I like to think that I like playing in big games and exciting games. So it usually those first 3 games are kind of a warm-up or first few non-district games just to get us all ready.
Yeah.
But once we get in the district, seeing how everything's playing out, I usually try to focus more on the
I guess playing Fort Gibson this time will be a little bit different than last time. The first time for everything's kind of tough, different. Anything you want to reflect on there? You still got friends over there?
Oh yeah, I still got friends over there. A couple of them.
Yeah. What about the Oologah game? I mean, is that still? I mean, historically, that's always been a big one. Anybody that look to that game more than any others? Heck no, it's all about playoffs here, isn't it?
Well,
just get us through the regular season.
I'll say as a coach, the Oologah loss was one of the worst in my career.
Yeah.
I mean, we failed in a lot of areas, and a lot of it, at the end of the day, you can direct towards me. So I'll say this, we will not overlook them again. So definitely looking forward to that night.
So, Coach, last question. When it's all said and done at the end of the year, what would be a successful season in your mind?
Well, I mean, you kind of have to see how things unfold. We can sit here and talk about how good we think we're going to be, and until we get out there and see what this team's made of, we don't know for sure. But the reality is, playing where we're playing and coaching, the expectations are to go win a state championship game. That's just the reality. We can dodge that and act like, well, we got to win week one, and that's coach talk, and that's great. But I know for me, and I think these guys would echo it, we want to win a state championship. I think we're capable of it, and we're not going to hide from that. So, not that this season would be a failure if we don't, but I know that to start it all out, that's the goal. we'll take it one game at a time, one step at a time. But I feel very good about the overall vibe I get from this group of guys. I feel like it might be one of the more tighter knit groups that we've had. From what I can see, I feel like the locker room may be a little tighter than we've seen before. The talent levels there, so it's going to be fun. I can't wait to get started and see how it all unfolds. But that's the end goal.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, y'all.
All right, it was a pleasure to have the Wagoner Bulldogs back again at the Bravado Media Days. For all of you at home, if you'll go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to our page and keep supporting these guys for this season, and we'll be back shortly with some more football.
We provide the highest quality cell phone service, specializing in outstanding coverage, both locally and nationwide. We're headquartered right here in Oklahoma, with multiple store locations in eastern Oklahoma. We provide the most affordable, unlimited talk, text, and data plans available. For a limited time, our unlimited plan is only $40 a month, and you can receive a free LG K30. Make sure you stop in now and enjoy our other amazing summer deals before they end. Visit Bravado Wireless store locations for all other details, or go to bravadowireless.com for more information. We are Bravado Wireless, and we believe in the power of connection.